Sri Sitaram Yechury.
थैंक यू सर। सर, जिस संदर्भ में ये चर्चा हो रहा है उसे जरा समझने की जरूरत है। वो संदर्भ ये नहीं है कि देश के अंदर काला धन एक बहुत बड़ा जुल्म हो रहा है हमारे देश की जनता के ऊपर और देश के ऊपर ही, क्योंकि काला धन के बारे में चर्चाएं हमारे देश के अंदर जब से आज़ादी के कुछ साल बाद से शुरू हो चुकी है और हमारे बचपन से हम सुन रहे हैं कि काला धन की वजह से हमारे देश के बारे में एक कैटेगराइजेशन हुआ करता था जब हम छात्र थे, दैट इंडिया इज ए रिच कंट्री विथ पुअर पीपल, एंड वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई वी हैव पुअर पीपल इज बिकॉज मच ऑफ दिस मनी इज बीइंग साइफन्ड ऑफ इनटू द ब्लैक इकोनॉमी। और हम अर्थशास्त्र के जब स्टूडेंट हुआ करते थे, ये अंदाजा लगाया गया था कई सोर्सेस से कि कम से कम 50% हमारे देश की जो इकोनॉमी है वो काले धन के अंदर फंसी हुई है। अब इसके कई सारे एस्टिमेट्स आए, मैं इसमें जा नहीं रहा हूं, लेकिन ये वातावरण जो बनाया गया इस चुनाव के अंदर, उस फिजा के अंदर ये चर्चा एक मुद्दा बना और वो चुनाव के अंदर ये कहा गया कि ये काला धन, आपने सुना, हमारे वरिष्ठ साथियों ने सबने बताया कि आज जो हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं उन्होंने बहुत सारे वादे किए हैं और उन्होंने कहा कि ये पैसा सब वापस आएगा 100 दिन में, और इन 100 दिन में वापस आने की वजह से सब देशवासियों को 15 लाख रुपए कम से कम मिले।
15-20 है, 5 लाख क्यों कम कर रहे हैं?
अच्छा, 15-20 लाख। हाँ, हमारे शरद जी के कहने पर उस पे आप जितना जोड़ना चाहते जोड़िएगा। आप इतने गौर से चेयरमैन महोदय, डिप्टी चेयरमैन महोदय, आप इतने गौर से समय को मत देखिएगा। आप अंदर से
I was thinking, I wanted to give you more time, but I was thinking I am not able to do that. That was my.
No, sir. As soon as you returned from your chamber to sit in the chair, I was a little worried because everybody else got liberal dosage of time, and you and I have an old relationship. That whenever
you should be happy that I am not here.
But whenever I stand to speak, your finger keeps going towards the bell. And this time only, I am only requesting, please don't. So therefore, sir, it's not a question of, it's not the seriousness or the non-seriousness of the issue of black money. Yes, it's a very serious one. And I would personally think that black money is something as what I would call the primitive accumulation of capital. That is, it is not a legal source of earning income. So it is a crime. We have had many schemes in the past of trying to unearth this black money. We said those disclosures that will be made, money that will be brought into the mainstream, we will pardon those people. We shielded these criminals. Some monies did come, but none of that has eradicated this black. The latest example from the government sources are today's Honorable President of India. When he was the finance minister, from there he presented a white paper on black money in 2012, where the estimate was in 1984. 1984, that was the latest estimate that the Ministry of Finance then would give. That estimate was that nearly 21% of our GDP is in black money. Nearly 38 lakh crores of rupees at that time.
बाहर का या भीतर का?
Total. Yeah, ये बाहर का. And then they could not arrive at an estimate as far as domestic black money is concerned because they said it defies any calculation. That is what was presented to us by the government of the day, sir. So the black money today, it's by any yardstick, is about 1/2 of our economy. But why are we discussing that issue today again? I'm glad we are discussing because I want that money to be used for our people's welfare. But we are discussing because of the string of promises that were made during the election campaign. The string of promises that were made within the 100 days that will be brought back, etc., etc. And it's not only the Prime Minister, sir. The Prime Minister has said that, and in fact, he was very, very nice about the Baba Ramdev. He said all that Baba was doing was that actually bringing back the black money in the country. He's got Z security today. I don't know whether it's because of the bringing back of black money that you have provided him with security. But anyway, he was hailed by the by the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister says, and I quote, he said, I have decided, if you bless me and give me the opportunity, I'll bring back all the black money, unquote. But then my friend, the Minister for Law, he was here a little while ago, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, when he, in 2011, I'm sorry, former Minister for Law, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm also not being able to keep pace with the reshuffles and the change in governments. I apologize for that. But Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad said in January 2011, what did he say, sir? Unquote, the government's argument that it can reveal the names to the Supreme Court but not to the public due to double taxation treaties, I presume, is baseless. Unquote. And then the president of the BJP had said, January 2011, quote, who is now a cabinet minister, he said, any reluctance in declaring the names of the Swiss bank account holders will simply raise doubts about the integrity of the people at the helm, unquote. The former Prime Minister was here a little while ago, I wish. But then, sir, the ruling BJP in its National Council meeting at the Ramlila ground in New Delhi on 18th of January 2014, in its economic resolution says, I quote, that we reiterate our stand against the black money and are resolved to bring it back through necessary legal and other decisions, unquote. So it's not only individuals, it's the party as a whole, it's the ruling party now, which is committed to bringing this. And our former, good. But I mean, it sounds a little disjointed, leader of the house, when you say you stand by it while you're sitting. That is a little, because the reason why I'm coming to, it's not, again, please understand, it's got nothing personal. When I'm talking of the black money in the country being generated, I would say it's because of the system. Whoever has been in the government has not been able to tackle it. But we are discussing this because of all the promises that you have made to the Indian people. And you have said that we are bringing back all these things within 100 days. And what did our current Home Minister say? Quote, black money would be brought back within 100 days if the party was voted to power, unquote. Shri Rajnath Singh, 17th of April 2014. So as a collective body, those who are today running this government, as a collective body, have assured the people and the public that yes, if you vote for us, we'll bring back this black money. But then
एक मिनट आप ये सब बयानों का एक लबाब बयान प्रधानमंत्री ने दिया है। उन्होंने कहा, मन की बात में कहा है कि ना इस देश में कोई कुछ जानता ना मैं जानता हूँ। तो ये भी बात बताइए ना, ये सब बयान के बाद
ना शरद जी, हम इसलिए नहीं कह रहे हैं क्योंकि आपने इस बात को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से बता चुके हैं। हाँ, और प्रधानमंत्री की मन की बात आप जितना जानते हैं हम नहीं जानते।
नहीं सुना
नहीं, आप भी तो साथ रहे, लेकिन आपने सुना है बिल्कुल। वो तो पब्लिकली वो टेलीविजन में कह रहे थे ये इस बात। अच्छा, रेडियो में मन की बात की, चलिए जो वो भी है। लेकिन सर अब 6 महीने हो चुके हैं और अभी तक इसके बारे में कोई कदम नहीं हो पा रहा। लेकिन आज क्या है सर, आज क्या है, ये आज क्या है? हमारे माननीय लीडर ऑफ द हाउस और वित्त मंत्री जी, उन्होंने 17 अक्टूबर 2014 में क्या कहा सर? आई कोट, वी हैव नो डिफिकल्टी इन मेकिंग नेम्स पब्लिक, but they can be made public only in accordance with due process of law. And the due process of law has been constrained by the DTAA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, which was entered into between India and Germany when the Congress party was in power in June 1995, unquote. This was a statement by the Honorable Finance Minister. Now, the fact of the matter again, which is something we have to underline here, sir, is that 14 such DTAA agreements that included the confidentiality clause, which is now being used as an excuse by the government that they cannot make these names public, were concluded by the NDA government during 1998 and 2004, when the Honorable Finance Minister was himself the law minister. So, sir, when this double taxation avoidance agreement was being discussed, and it was signed without being discussed in the parliament, yes, international agreements according to our constitution need not be ratified or endorsed by the parliament. That is our constitutional position. But at that time, I remember, we raised this issue with the then finance minister, who is now undertaken non-voluntary retirement from the BJP, one of those. But at the then finance minister, when he undertook the thing with Mauritius, I remember telling him that you are allowing the post boxes being opened in Mauritius with the Mauritius address and allowing a rerouting of your money back into India in the white form. Black money that goes out can come back through the white form. Now, sir, you tell me, Mr. Chairman, sir, I'm appealing to your common sense, not to any law, any legal sense or to any other thing. Common sense tell me double taxation avoidance treaties. The name itself suggests that the treaty is for protecting individuals and companies who will not pay the same tax in both the countries. Now, how can you have a double taxation avoidance treaty with a country that has no capital gains tax? What is the meaning of this? That was the fraud that was committed. Mauritius does not have did not have then a capital gains tax. Well, we had. Now, where is the double taxation avoidance then at all? But you created the route. You created the route for illegal money from here to go and come back as legal money. You created that route, whoever is responsible for that, for what has been what is known as participatory notes. We only heard the deputy leader of the Congress party in Rajya Sabha speak about the portfolio investments. But the most dangerous is this participatory notes. We are the only party on record to say, sir, ban these participatory notes. Because there is no record of, no need to disclose who is the one who is buying these participatory notes and from where the source of money has come. That is the biggest source of legalizing illegal money. Now, unless you ban these participatory notes, all the assurances that you are giving, saying that we'll bring back black money, is of no meaning. It's absolutely useless. And then, today to say that because of these treaties, we cannot give you the names. The Supreme Court, sir, has answered this question. The Supreme Court has said very clearly that double taxation avoidance agreements, quote, in its order in July 2011, the Supreme Court has said the double taxation avoidance agreements does not deter the government to disclose the names of account holders who have stashed black money abroad, unquote. This is para 56 of the judgments. And then, what does the Supreme Court say in the same thing, sir? It's telling the government, quote, what you have disclosed could be the tip of the iceberg. This is going to be the first step now. Disclose everything. We can't leave the issue completely to you, that is to the government. It may never happen during our lifetime, unquote. This is the Supreme Court, which has told you that there is no constitutional binding of confidentiality that will prevent you from giving the names to the Supreme Court. The court is saying that, sir, and then the court in the same order says, you don't have to take, courts, you don't have to take care of so much interest of these people. We know what to do, unquote. He speaks of why are you shielding these people with a, quote, protective umbrella. That's the Supreme Court's wording. The Supreme Court is chiding the executive under our constitution, saying that you are shielding these people under protective umbrellas. And then what does the Supreme Court say, sir? Quote, sounds very much like an election campaign speech of the Prime Minister when the election campaign is going on. It says, we don't want the money of this country to go to other countries. The Supreme Court says, we don't want the money of this country to go to other countries. All this has already been argued by you, and the court said everything will have to be disclosed. The court can say, give all the information even if confidentiality is breached, unquote. We want all the names, not one or two or three. Give us the entire information. Unquote. Now, this is what the Honorable Supreme Court of India is saying. And in this background, what the steps that we have taken is yet once again, what you're saying is that we will make all the efforts. We'll have future agreements where we will not have this confidentiality clause. Yeah.
There is no order.
No order, no, observations. Okay, I stand corrected.
It's a continuous hearing. So the hearing goes on to the next day. The order is on the next day, which is not consistent with the observations that you are pointing out.
So, fine, sir. I mean, as a learned lawyer, I'll yield to his point. But the question is whether it's an order or an observation. I'm just quoting from what the Honorable Court has said. So, having quoted from that, it says that leaving, we can't leave the issue of bringing black money to the government. It will never happen in our lifetime. So, sir, what needs to be done now at the moment in order to, if the government is really serious to bring back the black money, is that...
If you look there, we'll have to stop now. Don't look there.
No, okay. Oh, sir, sorry, sir, thank you. But what needs to be done, sir, immediately I'll urge on this government. You seriously review and legally see how you can revisit the DTAA agreements. And what we had mentioned then, I'm still requesting that you actually scrap most of these, except with genuine countries where the same taxation exists. You cannot have DTAAs with countries where the tax that you are collecting in India does not exist in those countries. This defies logic. It's not double taxation. Now, secondly, please immediately ban participatory notes. Immediately ban participatory notes. That is the conduit from which all this recycling of this money is being done. Thirdly, most importantly, sir, I believe that the amount of black money stashed within the country is much larger in volume than what is there in the foreign banks. And for that, to do that, you require a certain political will. Now, I don't know these estimates that are coming out in the media. 15,000 crores is what has been spent in the election campaign for only media propaganda. Now, whether it's true or not, but it's an amazing figure. Now, okay, I say I'm being very generous, but the point is, it is an mind-boggling figure. Where did this money come from? Whose money is it? You have the Honorable Prime Minister moving in the private jets of a private corporate. Whose value has risen, according to my information, 400%. 400% in the last 5 years. In any legitimate capitalist system, sir, can an expansion of this dimension ever takes place unless there's been primitive accumulation involved? Is it possible under normal course of capitalist economics for you to have such escalation in your values and your capital accumulation? That only happened during the time, pre-colonial times of mercantile capitalism, when you looted. Or when the drain of wealth from India took place under the colonial rule that financed the Industrial Revolution in Britain. This dimension of loot can only happen when all this is happening illegally. And therefore, sir, I want this illegal money to be returned to the people properly. For that, sir, please, for that, all of us will have to work together for proper electoral reforms. Today, there is no limit on what the party can spend. There are limit on candidates, on how much they can spend, but the party spending, there is no limit. The party can hire helicopters, and you've heard how many helicopters are moving around in the valley of Kashmir today, and from where they are coming, where is the money that is coming for that? Who's financing it? There's no supervision of those accounts. This is a very big lacuna. Bring in the party's expenditures within the limits.
Now please conclude.
Legally. Yes, sir, I'm comfortable. And as you are aware, sir, I don't say anything which need not be said.
That's why I allowed you
much of what Sharadji said, Mayawati ji said, Mr. Arvind Sharma said, all of them have covered these points. I have not repeated many of those. I'm therefore only saying, sir, if you're really interested in unearthing this black money, you have to plug the loopholes. If you want to plug the loopholes, you want to plug these loopholes, be cautious. You have already announced that you are signing new agreements, and one with the United States of America itself, and where it could be a very big tax haven unless you have this confidentiality clause in it. And if you don't have these things, you are only creating conditions for greater generation of black money. So the issue is not of having let down the Indian people through your election promises. That is one aspect, very important aspect. Very important aspect that people have been misled and they were hoping something will come. So that's why when the slogan, sir, अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं, when this was given, since once earlier also I told you, you are not accustomed to Hindi film songs. No, you like them. You also like them. In our childhood, remember, sir, there was an old song by, not old, it was an evergreen song by Kishore Kumar, which you must have heard also. कोई लौटा दे मुझे बीते हुए दिन. When you say अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं, अब लोग यही गाना गा रहे हैं कि भाई कोई लौटा दे मेरे बीते हुए दिन. इस तरीके की बातें जो आपको कह रहे हो. No, I mean we have never spared them also, sir. When Indira Gandhi gave the slogan of Garibi Hatao, I as a student leader and the Honorable Finance Minister as a student leader, there were a slogan that was given by us then, saying, Madam, हमारी गरीबी लौटाओ. गरीबी हटाने की बात छोड़ो, वो तो हट नहीं रही है और ज्यादा बढ़ रही है. हमारी गरीबी आप लौटाइए. तो इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ, अच्छे दिन आने वाले, उसके जगह कोई लौटा दे मेरे बीते हुए दिन वाली बात गाना. अब ये गुनगुनाना शुरू हो गया देश में. तो इसलिए हमारी आग्रह आपसे यही है कि इरादे कितने भी नेक हो, शरद जी ने कहा मन की बात, वो मन की बात ने सच्चाई जो बता दी, तो वो ये है कि अगर इसको वापस लाना है ये धन को, तो आपको कदम उठानी होगी, ठोस कदम. आप ये डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस ट्रीटीज को रिव्यू करके बिना कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी क्लॉज के सबको रद्द करिए. आप पार्टिसिपेटरी नोट्स को बंद करिए और चुनाव सुधार ले आइए, जहां पर पार्टी जो खर्च करती है वो भी एक लिमिट के अंदर आए, ना कि सिर्फ कैंडिडेट्स का. वरना आप इस सिलसिले को और ये जो हमारे ऊपर कर्म है उसको बंद नहीं कर सकते. सो यही मेरी आग्रह है सरकार से. एंड थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग.
येचुरी जी, देयर इज अनदर हिंदी सॉन्ग.
यस सर.
ये मत पूछो कल क्या होगा, जो भी होगा अच्छा होगा.
कल क्या होगा किसको पता. दैट इज द सॉन्ग.